Hello YouTube, I'm Petard. In this video, I'll be talking about what type of bird is right for you. In this video, I have cockatiels, African greys, lovebirds. If you name it, I probably have it. I'll be asking questions like, what time do you go home from work? Do you have kids? And do you have time to look after your bird, and how much time do you have for it? So I won't be talking about stuff like the tank size or the diet, just more general questions, and hopefully you can find the right bird that's perfect for you. Anyways, let's get into it. So first on my list, I'll be talking about the budgie. So the budgie's quite a common bird in the bird hobby, and you've probably heard of it by now. The budgie is quite small and doesn't need too much of a large cage. That makes it good for apartments or small houses where there isn't too much space to use. It's also quite quiet, so if your house is semi-detached, terrace or flat, it shouldn't annoy your neighbours too much and shouldn't get you any problems. The budgie is also quite cheap, so maybe if you're going to college, you live in an apartment and want to annoy your neighbours, it's small enough to fit and you can afford it. A lot of people keep this bird because it won't require too much time if it has its own friends. So birds genuinely require a lot of attention from you. However, budgies are flocking birds, and they obviously live in flocks, which are groups. So if you get a group of budgies, even 2 works fine, but 3 to 4 work very well, and their social lives within themselves won't require you too much. The biggest con to this is the budgie won't love you as much. Of course, the budgie still appreciates you, however, it would rather talk to its own friends than you. So second on my list, I have the cockatiel. Not to be confused with the cockatoo, this is an Australian parrot that's often kept by beginners and advanced hobbyists. The parrot is often kept because of its nice personality. It's very loving and basically loves you unconditionally. Of course, every parrot has its own different personality, but this is generally across all cockatiels. Cockatiels also don't grow very big, so the cage would need to be too big. They go to around 30 to 32 centimeters. One of the biggest differences against a budgie, for example, is they need a lot of attention. Of course, you can get them in a pair, or maybe a little colony, but attention is quite necessary. They need a good couple hours a day, or at least one, so you will take a time out of your day. I recommend cockatiels for people who work maybe 9 to 5 jobs, or people who go from school, who have enough time to look after cockatiels as well. The cage, like I said, won't be too big, and it can be a bit noisy, so keep that in mind. I recommend keeping them in a detached house just because they are quite noisy, and a house where you have enough space to keep the cage. Remember, the cage, even though it isn't that big, it definitely isn't small either. Now third on my list, I have the cockatoo, a bird I just mentioned and is very loved in the hobby. However, it's not for beginners, and for a couple of reasons I'll mention now. This bird does get a lot bigger than the other two and we need a lot larger cage, but that isn't why it's an advanced bird. The reason is because of its personality. It's bursting with personality, which is true, however it's very moody and very time consuming. This bird needs loads and loads of your time, and you may think that's possible. However, it will take at least 3 to 4 hours of a day, and many people can't spare that. If you can, maybe try it. You can go for it. However, like I said, the birds can be moody and have mood swings, and they can be quite hard to tame. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about the last few birds is the ability to talk. So the budgie can sometimes whistle a little bit, you don't really speak too much. The cockatiel, however, can whistle really well, and the cockatoo can actually talk, repeating words and sometimes making up its own. I'll have finally a video for you guys now to show how moody these birds can really be.
But why? What? You think so? Why? Well, Pebble, I'm sorry. Well, Well, believe it, Pebble. Because I'm sorry, but it happened. I had to go to work. That's just the way it is, Pebble. Otherwise...
Those clips came from Pebble the cockatoo. As you can see, they really have quite a personality. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Just beware before you do buy this bird. Now fourth on my list, I have the African Grey Parrot. So this is quite a medium to large size bird, and they do require quite a lot more attention than the other birds. So because they're bigger, they have to make a lot more noise. However, these birds are quite different from the other birds I showed you. The personality is quite intelligent. They're very intelligent birds, and they often like to play games, stuff like that. These birds are also very good mimickers and can talk, sometimes even with context. So if you want a bird that can really talk, you want to get this bird. However, these aren't really cuddlers, so you don't want too much physical contact with them, as scratching their head to tolerate, but cuddling and hugging, for example with a cockatoo or cockatiel, will not be allowed with this bird, as it will fight back. It's quite a big beak as well, so be careful with handling it. It often needs quite a bit of time to be nurtured and talked to. Remember, this bird likes conversation and is communicating a lot. One thing I forgot to mention is these birds are not for beginners, but for more advanced hobbyists. At fifth on my list we have the lovebird. It's quite a small bird and kind of similar to a budgie. However, personality-wise, a bit different. Lovebirds, as in the name, that they are quite loving, but a lot harder to tame than other birds. These birds are quite territorial and do not share a cage, nor they should be doing that anyways. So a lot of times it's quite hard to tame these birds, but once you do, they will really love you. Like I said, they're a lot smaller and won't make as much noise. For beginners, you could try this bird if you research a lot and maybe kept other pets. However, advanced hobbyists definitely take a look into this bird. For attention-wise, these birds will like attention from you. Quite a good bit, but not as much as some other birds like the African greys and the cockatoos. However, like a budgie, if you keep them with their own kind, they should stay entertained. They're also quite small, which means they're quite less loud, and they also don't need that much big of a cage. You could keep them in a small home, even with people nearby. And that's it for me, guys. If you want a part 2, there are a lot more birds to use. I'm doing around 5 birds per video. I don't want to take a lot too long, and don't want my videos to be too long. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.